Whoa, it's the Illusion, reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Well, my spiritual advisor, Joe Shaughnessy, passed away the other night. Died in his sleep of a heart attack. No drama. You know, when I heard the news at first, I wasn't sad. I was happy for him because Joe was super in tune with God. Like super in tune with God. And he was the one who basically taught me everything that I talk about here on YouTube. He taught me how to find the information that he didn't teach me. He taught me how to open my heart. He taught me how to listen. He taught me how to be patient. Joe was radical. Joe was the dude who saved my life. Joe Shaughnessy. Wow. So he went back to the light. He shed his spacesuit and returned to the light, to the oneness, to the infinite universe. He's right here with us right now. He's free of his spacesuit. And I mean, maybe I should tell a story because I'm a storyteller. So, how do I meet Joe Shaughnessy? I was up drinking. This is back when I used to be Hiroshima Nagasaki, the drunk, the angry man. So I'd been up drinking at the voodoo pool because that's where I lived, at the abandoned voodoo pool on top of the world. And I came down to get more beer. And I stopped at the restaurant across the street from the canyon where I came down and drank at the bar and was hammered. And I went across to the little local liquor store where I started my drinking career some 30 years ago. And these two guys parked crooked. And you gotta understand the little market plaza is super old school. So there's like zero parking. It was built in like the 20s. So there's zero parking and it's super tight and it's just a giant pain in the butt on any given day. So these guys pull up at 10 o'clock at night to buy, it turns out, more cream for their coffee in front of this little liquor store market, and they park crooked across the lines. And I'm coming out of this market and I'm hammered, and I just bought myself like a 12 pack or an 18 pack of Budweiser, pack of Marlboros, some chips and some Slim Jims. And I proceeded to give these guys a hard time. Why are you parking crooked? You must not be from around here. What's your guys' problem? Don't you see the lines on the road? Don't you see the lines on the road? And I was giving this dude Joe a hard time, man. And he's a huge old ex-hockey player from Boston. The kind of man you don't mess with. But see, that's what I used to do when I was a drunk, man. I messed with people. And so I get in his face with my broken cigarette. Like, I'm like, you got a light? And I get like 6 inches from his face. And I look into his eyes. And everything changed in that moment. Because I go, are you one of those sober guys? And he's like, yeah, what of it? And I go, I need help, man. I really need help. But understand, I'm wasted. And so he goes, I don't know what I can do for you right now. You're drunk. You're kind of out of control. I'm like, no, I need help, man. Like, you're supposed to help me. You're a sober guy. And he's like, all right, look, here's my card. And call me in the morning. I go, no, man, I need help right now. I need help right now. And he's like, I don't know how to help you right now. You're hammered. Just go home, finish drinking your beers, and call me in the morning. And I walk away, and I'm like, that's not cool. Really not cool, man. supposed to help me. And I turn around and I look at him again. And I go, "You're supposed to help me." And he goes, "All right, dude." He used to say dude more than I say dude. "What are you gonna do with that bag of beer?" And I threw that bag of beer in a trash can that was right there. And I said, "I'm done with this." And he's like, "All right, get in the car, man." And it turned out him and the other gentleman had opened a sober living and didn't have any clients. And they said, they said, "We're willing to do anything to help you get sober if you're willing to do anything to help yourself get sober." And I said, "Okay." I go, "What do I do?" And they're like, "The first thing you do is you live here now." And I go, "But I don't have any money." And they're like, "No, you live here now." And I go, "Okay." So I started living there with these gentlemen in this sober living. And I began to get sober. And Joe's been with me every step of the way, offering me spiritual advice, talking to me when I'm down, telling me what I spiritually already know to be true, that God loves me, has always loved me, and has never abandoned me. And so I have so many Joe stories. He was a character, man. Joe was this larger than life character, man. And so Joe passed, right? Joe went back into the light. And you see, Joe taught me how to love, man. And what Joe taught me was that God is in all of you. And that if I separate myself from you, I separate myself from God. You see, I was an isolationist. I was a loner. I didn't like you. But Joe taught me to love you. Because Joe taught me to love myself. Because Joe showed me that God loved me. And if God loved me, I should love me. And Joe taught me that this is all a dream, dude. The holographic universe. Joe was very deep human being. Joe got to hold my son. Joe got to hold my son a couple months ago. And yeah, my son wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Joe and the other gentleman in the car. Al would not be here. I don't know if I would be here, man. Well, we wouldn't be doing this. You know, this whole YouTube thing, yeah, it sparks off my death of my friend Billy, but Joe was the one who told me to figure out the message that Billy had come here to deliver to me. And it was about love. It was about to love more and to express myself and open myself up to the world, which is what I've done here on this YouTube channel. So, Joe was my teacher, my spiritual advisor, my conduit to the information that God radiates everywhere else. And so, school's out. I no longer have a teacher. I suppose that it's that way is because maybe I don't need the teacher anymore. I wrote Joe out of my script, which is a hard thing to realize, but I suppose I saw it coming. I suppose when you become aware and in tune to the frequencies, that you know when people are fading from your existence. I'm just glad he got to hold my son. It meant a lot to me. Like, I'll never miss Joe because Joe's right here with me, right here, right now. Because Joe taught me about right here, right now. Joe's the one who showed me infinity exists in all directions of time and space, right here, right now. He showed me how to get there. And I don't, I'm teared up right now, but I'm not teared up because of loss. I'm teared up because it's the truth that this man showed me how to love the world I exist in. And now that he's gone, it's like a bookend. Like, just like that, man. Just like that. 6.5 years later. 6.5 years later. Gone in the flash of a minute, dude. Flash of a minute, dude. I just met Joe. Just met him, man. I've always known Joe. Always known Joe. Joe came from my heart. So, I guess what it is, man, life's short, people. And the thing about Joe, man, the thing about Joe was I was conscious and aware of Joe. Always. And I always will be. Don't let life pass you by. Don't let your spiritual advisor pass you by because you won't beg for help. You know, I've had the pleasure of helping a lot of people via this YouTube channel, right? Like an amazing amount of people, an amount I'll never comprehend. So what Joe did for me, right? What Joe did for me has been radiated to all those people that have sent me emails asking me for advice, made phone calls to me, participated in this journey on YouTube. Joe's in you too. Joe is a beautiful, beautiful human being. I'm so grateful I got to have a Joe Shaughnessy in my life. So grateful. My life was forever changed by that man. It's radical. It's radical. It's radical what that human being did for me. And that other human being that night. So there's no loss here. There's only gain. There's only gain. But that's the thing. People want to get, I see it out there. People get bummed when people die because they didn't experience them while they were alive. See, I experienced Joe. I got Joe stories, man. I got some good Joe stories. I'm gonna have to go into my archives to finish this video and put up a couple pictures I do have of Joe. And I'm just gonna end it with this one of him and Mickey Rooney. I love you, Joe Shaughnessy. Yeah! Thank you for making me want to live, brother. Thank you. There's no advertisement for t-shirts after this at the end of this video. Just because. We don't need no t-shirts. It's kind of stupid I even threw that in there. Oh, I know why I did, because I was buying time. So what did I do? What did I do? The next indicated action after I found out Joe had passed into the light. I had met this gentleman like 2 months before who had come up to me at a meeting where people like I go to find help. And he had heard me talking up at the podium about what was going on with me because, you know, I was between jobs and I was getting afraid. And, you know, this was about 2 months ago. And this gentleman came up to me and offered me his phone number and said that I could call him anytime and that he was going to pray for me to get through this difficult time that I was in. And so I called that man after I found out Joe had passed, and I asked that man, will you be my spiritual advisor? And we talked. He knew Joe as well. And he said, yes, because you see, Joe would not want me to drift. See, Joe gave me something that I have to hold on to. Grasshopper has the pebble now, right? Like, I can't let the pebble go because I got wax. Because my guy passed. I had to jump right into action. I had to secure my sobriety and my connection with God into the future. Because you see, the way to honor Joe and the experience I had with him over the past 6.5 years is to continue to carry the message of hope. Is to continue to carry the message of hope and love, and be there and be of service. Just as Joe was there for me that one night in August 18th, 2009, he gave me a second chance. He believed in me what I did not believe in myself, that I could attain a life better than the one I had. Joe believed and saw what I have now, man. So when he got to hold my son, I mean, it must have been a special moment for Joe to hold my son. He saw me, man. I had nothing when I met him. Nothing. I had nothing. Now I have the world, the universe, God, my son, my fiance, the minigram. My life is so rich and full. I have nothing but thanks. I hope you all out there are blessed to have someone like that in your life. God bless you.